8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now's the time to lock in the best deal of the year on a new John Deere sprayer during Landmark Implement's Sprayer Early Order Program. Leverage the industry's latest technology with See and Spray. Target weeds with precision and cut herbicide use. Utilize Exact Apply to save in chemical usage and prevent over-application. Don't forget, secure early order savings and get the sprayer that maximizes every pass. Visit your Landmark location for full details and experience the Landmark difference.
Load up on meat and more this summer at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's specials through June 24th are $1 off ground beef, 15% off on aprons, 15% off cornhead beer, and buy one, get one 50% off on brats and hot dogs, limit 2. Plus, stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. Locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney and Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Hi, it's Charlie Stone and Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln with more exciting news for area car buyers.
Charlie, it's just announced that Honda of Lincoln has won 3 of the Lincoln Journal-Star's Lincoln Choice Awards: Best New Car Dealer, Best Auto Repair, and Best Place to Get Your Oil Changed.
Wow, that's great, Andy. Anything else?
Yes, we were runner-up for Best Pre-Owned Dealer and Best Tire Dealer. A lot of people don't understand that we do sell tires here.
Very exciting, Andy. Why do you think your dealership is winning so many awards?
Charlie, we simply say it's the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business.
Looks like Honda of Lincoln is the great news headquarters for Lincoln.
Yes, and even all of Nebraska, we are also announcing that Honda of Lincoln's the only dealer in the state of Nebraska to win the prestigious Honda President's Award for 2024.
Honda of Lincoln, Nebraska's #1 volume Honda dealer, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
I tend to be loud and talk fast. Were you aware of this?
Oh, I was
Were you
aware of this. We are all good. I'm just making sure that it's all good out here.
Every once in a while, I will all of a sudden talk slowly and quietly to make a point, and then the volume's got to go through the roof, and then it's got to go down because I just take off and I make no rhyme or reason. Ladies and gentlemen, the Adam Carriker Show in Omaha, on site, the Blur tailgate. All right, the Hilton in Omaha, special edition. College World Series is kicking off, ladies and gentlemen. Whole bunch of fun stuff to talk about. It's a glorious Friday. All right, again, we are live from the Blur tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Doors open daily from 10:30 a.m. to midnight through June 21st. Corner of 12th and Cass. Let me go repeat that. The corner of 12th and Cass. Can't miss the big white tent. Well, I did. I had to call Jake for directions. But once I opened my eyes, you can't miss the big white tent for Blur parties on the south side of Cass Street. This is the 13th annual tailgate with an all-inclusive bar, buffet, 18 TV show and live baseball games, multiple seating options, including a freaking hammock. All right, Nick, how you doing, my friend? I'm joined today by Nick Sainer.
Adam, this is one of my favorite days of the year, not only because it's the College World Series opening up, but this is now our third year with Blur here. And every year it feels like not only do they get better, but the experience gets better. I mean, you talk about the cornhole that they offer. They added foosball last year. They added a dartboard this year. It feels like there's more seating available, but it's because they're taking off. There's also, we can't forget one part. Today and tomorrow, there's going to be a giant tiger sitting outside there. It has no connection to the actual university, LSU. I was talking to Eric, one of the owners of Blur Events before this, and he was telling us the story. We're actually going to have the son of the creator on the station at some point later today, because they are basically they brought this tiger up. They were looking for a place to park, and there's no better place to accommodate anybody than Blur Parties. I highly recommend. If tickets to the game, we've talked about it all week, ridiculously expensive, especially for a game like tomorrow with LSU Arkansas. Get-in price is like $230 for nosebleed seats. Guess what? For a fraction of that price, you can come in here. You're a block away from the stadium, so you still get all the atmosphere, all the excitement, all the energy of being at the College World Series, but for a fraction of the price. And guess what? It's probably a little bit more comfortable inside this tent. There's no sun getting in here.
Dude, it is. Actually feels pretty good. I'm a big dude. I sweat a lot. I get hot easy. It feels good right here, though.
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Adam Carriker Show. As always, you're going to get unique insight, unbridled honesty. And today, producer Nick and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. All right, typically Husker sports, college football sports in general, the College World Series absolutely falls under sports in general. That's what you're going to hear. I remember there was an LSU game last fall, and I forget the particulars, but I remember talking about a potential live tiger on the sideline. Now, I think they did, but it was in a cage, which made a lot more sense. They left that out when they just said live tiger on the sideline. But this is a pretty big freaking tiger. You can't miss it as you're walking by. All right, Nick. So I get the feeling, obviously football, all sports, but I get the feeling you're a bit of a baseball guy.
A little bit of one, yes.
Yeah. What intrigues you and what brings you your specific personal interest towards baseball as much as any other sport?
Well, I think being fortunate to grow up in Nebraska where the College World Series has been. I mean, I remember going to Rosenblatt early, and I grew up a South Carolina baseball fan. And partially it's because they were really, really good in the late 2000s, early 2010s. South Carolina, there was Jackie Bradley Jr., Scott Wingo, Joey Pancake, Christian Walker. I mean, the list goes on and on there with South Carolina, to where they won the last national championship at Rosenblatt and the first national championship in Charles Schwab Field, which at the time it was TD Ameritrade Park. And so not only was it kind of cool, I was at the national championship game for both of those years at Rosenblatt, the last one, and the first one at Charles Schwab Field. But this is essentially the college football playoff equivalent for baseball. This is the best of the best. But also, Adam, you look at a field like we have this year, it might bring some unique excitement, because in a year where it was all about the SEC and all we heard about before as we worked into regional play was all the SEC and ACC flavor, but mostly SEC. Now you have 8 teams. 6 of them are from different conferences. 1 of them is an independent. We're on the 75th anniversary of the College World Series. The storylines are incredible. And what's even better is tomorrow night, we're obviously talking about all the games combined, but tomorrow night's Arkansas LSU game, you're talking about 2 of the more passionate fan bases in college baseball in the country, and they get to meet at the pinnacle of college baseball.
Dude, you make some great points, and I've got some stats here. I'm sure you've got some as well. Before I dive into those, I want to backtrack a little bit. What is your favorite bar room game? Is it darts?
Oh, yeah.
Foosball, ping pong, pool? Where would we find Nick on a Friday night at a bar?
Darts.
Darts?
Right. I've been peeking over my right shoulder looking at that dartboard multiple times in the hour and 10 minutes that I've been here or so. It'll be the dartboard very.
All right, what's
very
next
quickly
on your list? What's at the bottom for you?
Cornhole's next. Next. Foosball, I can't coordinate my hands fast enough.
I get that.
So I can't like switch the handles quick enough.
Yep.
So that's going to be at the bottom. Not because I don't enjoy it, but just I need something that, number one, I can like sit there and think and let my brain process, and I can do that with darts and cornhole.
For me, so I'm the same way with foosball. I love foosball.
Yeah.
But I just, for some reason, especially the left hand, I'm right-handed, obviously. It doesn't move as quick as I want it
100%.
to, and then all of a sudden the ball's by me and I'm mad and it doesn't go well. So ping pong is my top game. Now, I don't play it. often enough to actually be like, I'm definitely above average, but I'm definitely below like expert level. I'm somewhere in that very good range, but I've definitely been humbled a few times in my life. But I love ping pong. All right, air hockey is another one that I love.
Absolutely.
Those would probably be my top two.
Now, where are you at for like billiards?
See, I was about to say I'm going to surprise you.
Okay.
I'm not a pool guy.
Okay.
You go to my house, we've got the basketball shoot 'em game that you're going to find at any arcade or whatever. We've got air hockey, we've got foosball, we've got darts, we got ping pong. There's no pool table anywhere in sight, and I get so much crap for it from all my guy friends, and I'm like, I suck at it, which means I don't like it, so I'm not going to pay for it. But I know most guys, or at least a lot of guys out there, tend to like billiards. What about you?
Have you ever played snooker?
Never heard of it.
So snooker is a pool game. It's a branch off, I guess, where it uses red pool balls. And so instead of the traditional like 8-ball where you have just the numbers, there's like multiple red balls, and to be able to generate points, you hit the cue ball off the red ball into the pocket, and then that allows you, after you make a red ball, then you can pick any of the numbers 1 through 8, and you can try to hit that. So the red ball is automatically worth 1, and then you go through it and you say, okay, I'm going to try to hit the 4 ball in the right corner. And so then if you're able to do that, you go, that's 5 points, but then you have to hit another red ball first. And so and then once all the red balls are hit, you take the numbered balls out after you make them. And after all the red balls are made, then you go in order. You have to go in order. But it's a perfect game if you have like a group of 6, 7, 8 people that want to play. Obviously, you can't play traditional billiards with that. So you say, okay, let's play some snooker, and we'll end up going that way, and you just go down the list, and it's a perfect game for larger groups.
That's a new game. I have not heard of that. The odds of me playing much of that,
it
sounds intriguing, but the odds of me playing much,
slim.
Just for me personally, are not great, but that's okay. It sounds like a great game. Most people love pool. It sounds like snooker would be a great game.
I'm not good at it.
We didn't have to be good.
Yeah, you just,
The question was, do you enjoy it?
Yeah, sure.
So darts would be actually third on my list.
Okay.
I get the feeling you might school me the way you were talking about it, but it's third on
maybe
my
we
list.
need to. Maybe we'll have to try it out. We'll have to
that.
have a little bit of a ticket dart duel.
A little bit of a darts throwdown, if you will.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you were spouting some of these stats earlier, but I thought this was interesting. To me, it's kind of a unique College World Series. All right, since 1957, this is the first time since 1957, I should say, that not a single team is back in the College World Series from a year ago.
Yeah.
All right, it's also the first time since 2014 only one of the top national seeds, Arkansas, made it to the College World Series, one of the top 5, I should say. Okay, this year's College World Series, as you mentioned, consists of 6 different conferences, where last year it was 2. It was the SEC and ACC.
Yeah.
All right, Oregon State being the first independent to make the College World Series in a decade. And then it's interesting, man, the Pac-12, its last year was probably its best year ever of football. And then you look at the former Pac-12 schools that are here. There's 3 of them. Arizona, Big 12 now. Oregon State, independent. UCLA, Big 10. So I grew up, born in Hastings, grew up on the West Coast. Like, I particularly took it hard when the Pac-12 didn't exist, but the last year of football was really good. Baseball, it could have been really good. I kind of missed the Pac-12. All right, but I do know the new Pac-12, according to Ross Dellinger here on Twitter, all 8 members of the new Pac-12 have signed their grant of rights and membership agreements. A conference spokesperson told Yahoo Sports. It is a signal that the league is finalizing a new media rights package that is expected in the coming days. It breaks my heart that I read that, and I'm going to move on, because beyond that, I'm not really that interested, because all the interesting schools, with all due respect, are elsewhere now. What are your thoughts on conference realignment and how it's affecting all sports?
I said this the other day to AD. It was hilarious, because I was like, think about how the conversations in 2021, it was every day. Oh my gosh, can you believe conference realignment? Can you believe this school jumped to this conference, right? And what about the geography?
Yep.
Now it's all about NIL. We don't even care. We don't even care. We don't even care about conference realignment anymore. I mean, that's honestly where we're at.
Seattle to Piscataway.
Yeah,
man. Are you kidding me?
like we were talking about the Big Ten. Hey, the Big Ten's making power plays right now because they have LA market, they have the Chicago market, they have the East Coast market. They're doing awesome. And then the next week, ACC adds California, and we're like, well, what are they doing? So it's just like a double standard in a way. But also the conversation has shifted so much from big picture conference realignment, that's what everybody cares about, to now NIL is the only thing that we ever want to talk about. And so, I mean, it's such a dramatic shift, but you're absolutely right. We can't forget, when we look back on the 2021, 2022 years, in 10 years from now, and go, okay, let's just revisit conference realignment and what it was like. We cannot forget just what a boneheaded mistake and group of mistakes that George Kliavkoff made.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they had a deal on the table, and there's obviously more people in play than just George Kliavkoff, but you had a deal on the table. Was it perfect? Absolutely not. But also you have to say, okay, is this the best we're going to get? And that's kind of part of your job as commissioner. And at the time it was, and you thought you tried to be the big, bad, tough guy. You had no leverage, and now you have no conference.
So you're talking about the former Pac-12 commissioner, for those who may not know. You're talking about the deal they had with the Big 12 after Texas OU
I'm
left?
talking about the deal that they had with Apple TV with streaming services, where in terms of media rights deal, right? It's like that was another part as we entered conference realignment. It was, man, think about the value, the added value that these conferences are now going to give TV companies and execs, where you have the Big Ten's over $1 billion. The SEC's is going to be over $1 billion. And so then you're talking about like breaking it down per school. Was it ever going to be close to $1 billion for the Pac-12? Absolutely not. But George Kliavkoff had the unrealistic expectations that he could get each school to have over $80 million of payout money a year, and that's just not realistic. And so because of that, because of the decisions that you made, we're sitting here with no Pac-12 conference and all these schools going, I guess we'll go to the Mountain West, or I guess we'll go to the ACC or whoever you want to say.
Yeah, you got the Washingtons, Oregons in the Big Ten. You got Cal and Stanford. I mean, they can step out their coaching offices, throw a stone into the Pacific Ocean, yet they're playing all their conference games on the Atlantic Ocean, 3 time zones away. You can't tell me that's not going to catch up to them over time, by the way. If I'm a recruit, you think I want to go play there and have to do all that traveling all the time? And I'm just thinking football. What about baseball, basketball, all these sports that play way more games, traveling throughout the week? Like, I would have no interest in playing there. And I think it's going to catch up to those schools over time. I think back to when the Pac-12 met with what was left of the Big 12. So Texas OU, there was a 10-team Big 12. Sure you remember this. Texas OU leave.
Oh, yeah.
The Big 12's hanging on by a thread. We all thought they were going to disappear. They meet with the Pac-12. The Pac-12 does nothing. Basically says, we're going to wait for you to fall apart, and then we're going to take what's left of you. And the inverse happened. Basically, the Pac-12 fall apart. The Big 12, with the new commissioner who's done a phenomenal job, other than his attitude of wanting the 5-11, 16-team playoff model. I don't understand that. Topic for another day. But basically, they watched the Pac-12 fall apart, and then they took the Arizonas, the Colorados, the Utahs, all those good schools. And it's crazy, man. It's just such a different – could you have imagined 2019? Hey, if someone said, hey, this is what 2020 is going to look like.
Oh, my gosh.
This is what the next half a decade in college sports is going to look like. You would have thought the person was seriously nuts, off their rocker, and you would have never paid attention to him again.
We would have never been able to wrap our heads around it. Why? And how do we know this answer? Because in 2025, we can't wrap our heads around it. I mean, that's the honest truth, is like we couldn't even envision it. We would have called you a psycho if you would have said anything along the lines of what we're experiencing now in college athletics. I mean, it was interesting, Adam. I got tweeted at the other day about Husker baseball and whether or not a guy might be able to be a transfer addition for the Huskers. And it's a guy that actually is playing in the College World Series this weekend. And I was like, look, even if there's so many levels and layers to this onion, if you will, to use that cliche analogy, there's so many layers to this. It's not only like in the Big Ten Conference, okay, does it have enough national respect? Probably not. Does Nebraska specifically invest enough into sports other than football, men's basketball, and the major sports? Probably not. Like, we look at the teams that are here in the College World Series, sure, year after year, and I know I'm jumping back and forth a little bit, but I promise it all comes full circle, is what I'm getting at is when you look at the teams that make postseason runs or make it deep consistently into postseason, what do they have? Not only NIL and financial investment, but just actual investment overall across the entire board. Whether that's and Nebraska has no issues with the fan support, but whether that's fan support, whether that's facilities, whether that's NIL investment, Arkansas doesn't have an issue with that, and they're here every year. It feels like LSU doesn't have an issue, and they're here every year. And so I just think, like, as we go through this changing and evolving world of college athletics, it's important for administrators and the people that are in the powers that be chairs that to realize we can't sit on our behinds and go, all right, why aren't we winning? And then not put any action towards investing into these products. Like, we can't, there is as confusing as the blueprint is to win. And while sports are still unpredictable at times, and there's probably a little bit more parity than ever in a lot of the sports, there is still some sort of a blueprint on how to at least get going in the right direction.
Oh, for sure. Some things just travel. Some things travel from sport to sport. They travel from not everything, but high school to college to pro sports. Some things are just a certain formula for success, and then you got to tweak it based on the age, the level, and what the
you have to
specific
coach.
Sport is.
You have to coach. Like that's the thing is you give them the way to go, and then make the right people in play, put the right people in place, and they'll do their job.
Well, it starts with, a bit of talent acquisition, having the right head coach in place, and then being able to develop and put people in the appropriate spots. Now, when you think of develop, you think of improving, getting better, hitting, throwing in baseball, blocking, tackling, bigger, faster, stronger in football, et cetera, and all the other sports. But having the right people in the right spots can be huge. If you've got a great individual who's really good at something in the wrong spot, you have failed as the person in charge, at least to that particular person in that department, which is going to set something in your sport or whatever that athletic endeavor or that team is behind. So that's as key as anything.
Yeah.
All right, you brought up Nebraska baseball. You're going to know as much or more than anybody when it comes to the departures that we've had. Are you surprised by some of the guys who've entered the portal from Nebraska, the amount, and some of the guys we've been able to bring in so far? What are your thoughts on them?
Well, so let's start with the positive. Nebraska added a MAC pitcher of the year yesterday in Cooper Katsky. He's a guy from the state of Colorado, has a year left of eligibility, had 10 starts for the Miami, Ohio Redhawks last year, had 16 appearances, but 10 starts. I mean, you look at what Nebraska is going to need to fill a lot. It's the complete opposite of what they were experiencing last year, Adam, where you go back after the 2024 season, and they lose in the regional bracket in Oklahoma State. But you said, okay, what do they have to replace? Well, they have to replace a third-round draft pick in Josh Karen behind the dish. Okay, you can go do that through the portal and an experienced catcher, and they did that with Hogan Haligzo, the transfer from Creighton. And then it was like, okay, you have to figure out a couple of different positions. Maybe they'll iron themselves out naturally. But 7 of your 9 consistent starting lineup, guys in the starting lineup, are coming back. Cool. You're feeling okay about it.
Mm-hmm.
This year, let's try a complete 180.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just go around the diamond. You have had a departure, Hogan Haligzo and Colin Cymbalista, your 2 catchers, gone. Case Sanderson's going to return at first base, which is a big catch for Nebraska. Second base, Caden Brumbaugh, he transfers out to Oklahoma for this year. Shortstop, Dylan Carey has a decision to make, but in all honesty, I think Dylan Carey had a big enough step this year where he's going to get some professional opportunities just talking to a couple of people that are around the program. And then you look at third base, you're going to get Joshua Overbeek back, but he's going to be a guy that's incredibly experienced, but are you able to build a lineup around him? You're going to be replacing your entire outfield. Left field, Gabe Swanson, he's gone. Center field, Riley Silva, he's gone. Robbie Bolin, potentially one of the biggest losses in this transfer portal cycle. He just chose to enter the portal. And so through it all, Tyler Stone decided to leave. And there was also another one that I missed that yesterday. Casey Dice, who led your team in appearances on the mound, it decided to leave as well. It's a complete 180. Nebraska's going to have to do a lot of work through the portal. There's going to be a lot of fresh faces, but most importantly, so far to this point, they've been able to retain Devin Nunez, and that's a big one in my opinion. That was a guy that I looked at as the season was coming to an end, where if I'm one of these SEC schools that just missed out on the College World Series, or I have a guy that is going to be a draft eligible guy this year, and I say, okay, I need to replace him with an SEC ready bat, you're looking at these Big Ten programs and saying, okay, who can I poach? And Devin Nunez is one of those guys, but Nebraska's done a really nice job of at least retaining him.
So a lot of time, a lot of work to be done in the portal, a lot of time to do that work. Obviously, sooner is better than later. Got to ask you this, though. Are you surprised by some of the guys who left and the amount of guys who entered the portal, I should say?
Well, I think a lot of these guys, so it makes it trickier because it makes it sound, it's easy to frame this in that guys left. A lot of these guys.
That's why I rephrased it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I'm more saying it for context for the listeners.
Yeah.
Is that it's easy to phrase it in that they chose not to come back, which I guess officially, yeah, that's correct. However, the reason that they even had a chance was because of the JUCO eligibility rule that was instituted this year. You have a staff in Will Bolt, Lance Harvell, Mike Sirianni, and Rob Childress who love to utilize JUCO ranked guys, and that's fine. You can build a successful baseball team out of that, and they're going to do so. Now, I think though, as we look here, it's like, yeah, could Casey Dice have come back? Yeah. Could Tyler Stone have come back? Yeah, sure. They all could have. they chose to leave. So it's more so of like, sometimes, you know how it is, Adam. Sometimes it's just time. Like, it's just time to just walk away.
I get it.
And so I think it's a blend. Am I surprised that like a Caden Brumbaugh left? I hope that he truly is getting a good scout of like, yeah, you're SEC ready and stuff. And so going to a school like Oklahoma, and I just hope that Nebraska can get enough out of the transfer portal. But then also, here's another factor that people might not realize. There's some high school guys that are committed or signed that they might have to say, we're going to go in a separate direction because we need immediate help rather than 4-year help.
Good point.
And so I know for a fact, I can confirm that those conversations happen at the college baseball level. And so unfortunately, there's guys not necessarily at Nebraska right now, but there's guys that have been committed to a program since their 8th grade year, since their sophomore year of high school. And now a couple of months before they're supposed to enroll, or they're saying, hey, look, because of the way that the college landscape and college baseball is right now, we need to go a different direction.
It's the day and age of college sports in general.
Certainly.
I mean, football's chaos, but a lot of other sports, obviously every sport's dealing with this, but there's chaos in a lot of other sports too, just due to the sheer numbers and the publicity. Football gets talked about more, but baseball gets it as well. I would say, in all fairness, I'm different. My lifelong dream was to play in Nebraska. Right? Yeah. My lifelong dream was not to even play in the NFL, being a WWE guy. I've had an offer from the WWE. Like, it wasn't WWE. I actually thought I was going to play Major League Baseball. But my dream was to play at Nebraska.
Yeah.
So maybe I would see it differently. Maybe I wouldn't. It's hard. I'd have to project back to when I was younger. I'd like to think I'm a smidge wiser now, but at some point, some of these guys are just going to say, hey, what's out there? What can I get?
Sure.
Business-wise? What are the opportunities? Maybe some of them end up staying home, coming back. But I'd be tempted to just enter the portal and just see what happens. Yeah. Maybe I come back, maybe I don't. How much more money can I get? How much more money can I get versus what was my dream to play at Nebraska and what ultimately trumps the other? Because when I was a young player at Nebraska, the NFL was on my radar. Yeah. It didn't even enter my mind. I can honestly say this until my junior year. Somebody wrote an article that I had decided to leave early after my junior year after 4 games into the season. That was news to me. I hadn't even thought about it. But that was the article that prompted me thinking about the NFL. But everybody's different. You know, somebody else might be like, hey, Nebraska gave me a great deal out of high school. I've been here a couple years. This portal thing's changing. I got to take advantage of it right now while I can. So we'll see what happens. All right. Yeah. We better head to break.
We could go on this forever.
We could. And good thing we got about another hour and a half if we choose to do so. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks. And grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
You've heard the phrase bigger is better. Hello, this is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. As applied to family law firms, this phrase can be misleading. Yes, it's true that more resources, proven processes, a wealth of shared experience and expertise, these are all good things. But it's also true that being local has its advantages for a law firm. Familiarity with judges, with local experts, opposing counsel, even the local rules and practices. So if you're a guy confronting a family law matter, you should be thinking right now, I need all the above. I need big and local. In that case, call Cordell & Cordell, a national law firm comprised of local offices with local attorneys who practice in local courts. Remember, for over 35 years, we've been the partner that you can count on.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Lincoln area attorneys. 402-858-3220. CordellCordell.com. 1221 N Street, Suite 801, Lincoln, Nebraska 68508.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, emergency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at windowworldlincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats. When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old-fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up. And we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. Once again, we are live from Blur Tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha. We're here from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Doors open daily from 10:30 a.m. to midnight through June 21st. Corner of 12th and Cass. Can't miss the big white tent for Blur parties on the south side of Cass Street. There's also a gigantic tiger that we talked about during the first segment. This is the 13th annual tailgate with an all-inclusive bar and buffet, 18 TVs showing live baseball games, multiple seating options, including a freaking hammock. Buy tickets at the door, or more preferably, please purchase at www.blurevents.com/Omaha. All right, College World Series. You just told me during the break it's about your favorite time of the year. In fact, you didn't even say about. You said it's your favorite time of the year. Let's look at this field because it's a unique field. You got Arizona, Coastal Carolina. They're going to go head-to-head. Louisville, Oregon State, Murray State, UCLA, and LSU, Arkansas. Of all the first-round matchups, that's the one that's probably the most anticipated. I saw a fan tweet out. Think about this. I would love this. I don't know if most college baseball fans would love this. I would love this. We could get a Murray State Coastal Carolina championship. Would you like such a matchup in the title game?
I would not.
I didn't think you. I could tell by your facial reaction. I would love it.
I love storylines. Yep. I love underdogs, right? And there's in the College World Series over the last 75 years, you've had them, right? Whether it's the Citadel, whether it was Stony Brook back in like 2014, like 2012 or 2014, I can't remember which year that was Stony Brook. It was past 2011 because it was here at Charles Schwab. Whether it's Fresno State in 2008 where they won the national championship, right? Now this year it's Murray State, right? So while I love the underdog story, I'm a fan of high level baseball.
They're here. They knocked out those
high
level teams.
They are here. And I want to also debunk a myth.
Okay.
The Murray State coach does not cut their own grass.
Okay. So hold on before you go on, because I've got this here. So you're saying this is a myth. Murray State making it to Omaha is one of the greatest stories in college sports.
Yes.
This is their stadium. I'm looking at a picture. All right. You can kind of look at it there. All right. If you were on YouTube, let's see here. It holds 800 people. Is that part at least true? Is 800 people?
800 is true. 800 is
their
true.
head coach, Dan. Is it Shirka? Am I saying that right?
You're right.
Literally cuts the grass. Got a feel for these guys. This is not true.
He does not. It's been confirmed by the coach and multiple players that they have a grounds crew there. So they have a grounds crew at Murray State.
The fact that we had to clear that up is crazy to me.
Yeah, but no, I mean, that's one of the things. Though I will say, it makes the College World Series great, or any sport, whether it's NCAA tournament or whether it's NCAA tournament, college football playoff. It makes it great. However, I would love to see an Arkansas-Oregon State rematch because guess what happened in 2018, Adam? Arkansas almost was a fly ball away from getting Dave Van Horn his first ever national championship. And what happened? In foul territory, the second baseman ranges over in the Bermuda Triangle between the first baseman, second baseman, and right fielder, and they say, we're going to let this one drop.
You called it the Bermuda Triangle.
I love it. That's what we call it.
I love it.
That's what we called it when I was playing, so that's what I always call it. But
I love it.
The Bermuda Triangle where all these guys converge, and because of bad communication at this level, they drop the fly ball. Trevor Larnach, the guy that was hitting ends up getting a base hit to tie the game. It's tied in the top of the ninth inning. And then what does a future Major League Baseball draft pick and Trevor Larnach do? He mashes a 2-run home run over the right field wall to give Oregon State a 2-run lead in that game. Dave Van Horn, if you go back, and this is like one of those, man, your heart breaks for him.
Yep.
Because if you go back to watch that video of Dave Van Horn, he steps up to the top step in the dugout, and because he thinks he finally got it. It's a routine fly ball. I mean, it was shallow right field. Like I said, the second baseman ranges over, drops the fly ball, and Oregon State went on to win Game 3 of that national championship series. So there's a part of me that says, all right, you know what? I'd be okay with an Oregon State Arkansas rematch this year just to get just to bring that storyline back up for us.
So for those who don't know, most people probably do, but for those who don't, Dave Van Horn, all right, former Nebraska baseball head coach. Thank you very much for that. That is a wonderful breeze I am now receiving. That is phenomenal, Eric.
We're big, sweaty.
Big, muscular, ridiculously good-looking, humble guys who were sweating a lot, and now we feel better thanks to the fan and breeze. Thank you. All right, but he was head coach in Nebraska 98 to 2002, Big 12 Coach of the Year 2001 for those who don't know. So I got to ask, all right, are you rooting for Arkansas just a little bit more because of Dave Van Horn, yes or no?
I think absolutely. I think yes. There's something to be said. I mean, he helped Nebraska be very successful in the early 2000s. And so I think you don't blame him now 20 years removed. Is it okay to compare it to a Frank Solich?
I got no problem with it. Go ahead.
I think it's okay to compare it to Frank Solich. Obviously, he's coaching at a much more prestigious university than the University of Ohio, but Frank did such good things with Ohio and Maction. but Dave Van Horn's been able to do it, and I like that's the one accomplishment that he has yet to obtain.
Yeah, my former coach, as we all know, College Football Hall of Famer, and the field there inside of Ohio Stadium is Frank Solich Field as well. All right, so we have confirmed Murray State does indeed have a grounds crew. That myth has been busted, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
I love
it. It was such a good story.
Clear that
right?
up.
Like it's such a good story. It'd be great to be like, yeah, you know what, Murray State, they have a $500,000 NIL budget, and they're taking guys off. Like it's the JUCO story of like I remember pulling tarps at 5 a.m. and I remember taking them off, like putting them back on at 3 p.m. when we were done with practice. Like those stories are cool. But also, Murray State, they do have a grounds crew. They confirmed it yesterday, and
it also
that's
needs
the problem
to be
with Twitter
true.
nowadays.
It also needs to be
yeah,
true.
right. It's the problem with Twitter nowadays.
I was a little bit, to be honest with you, when I saw that, I was a little conflicted because it kind of doesn't shine the best light on Murray State.
Sure, yeah.
Even though it's a really cool story, so they're probably happy to have that cleared up. Actually.
Well, then on top of it all, like I will say, it doesn't shine the best light on an organization like Nike because they show up to Omaha and wait all the gear that other Division I teams get, all the gear now from Murray State is sitting in their hotel rooms. And they posted pictures about it. It was like, wow, Nike baseball came through. And it was like, you guys are now getting, because you made the College World Series, you're getting all of this that other Nike schools were getting back in February.
Yep.
And so it doesn't shine the best light on that side either. But, hey, Murray State, I think like you can always say that the term they're playing with house money, but they earn their way here. And we'll see what they can do, tomorrow against UCLA. I also, you asked if we were cheering for Arkansas because of the connection to Dave Van Horn. I would ask, are you cheering for UCLA because of the connection with the Big Ten?
Well, okay, I'll come back to. I was actually going to bring up Oregon State.
Okay.
Simply because I went to Oregon State's football camp all 4 years of high school. I drove right by Corvallis a million times to go four-wheeling on the dunes there, Winchester Bay, Coos Bay. My dad and I would take a week every summer. I suppose I can tell people this now. We'd go for a week every summer before camp started. So I about died 3 different times before Nebraska's camp started, 3 different years, and that's very, very true. We can dive into that at a later date, but I'm kind of like a little bit drawn to Oregon State. Also, we beat them in a series.
That's
and
right.
So if they win the World Series, it's like we did not win the World Series, but we can feel good about it, kind of.
Sure.
So I buy into that logic a little bit.
They're some of the nation's best in home runs as well. They have over 102 home runs on the year.
Actually, full disclosure, my high school coach, Stephen Marquardt, actually played at Oregon State. And so I've always find myself rooting for Oregon State just a little bit because my high school coach played there as well. He was a heck of a ball player. His younger brother, Tyler, actually started on varsity as a freshman when I was a senior. And by his senior year, he was the #1 baseball recruit in the entire state of Washington. And then he just never went and played college baseball. And I've never seen him or my former coach since to ask, in a nice way, like, what the heck happened? How do you go from the #1 recruit in the entire state of Washington in baseball, not even playing college ball?
That's true.
But anyways, Oregon State and yes, I root for Big Ten teams.
Okay.
If UCLA took it all, I'd be happy. If Oregon State took it all, I'd be happy. Much to your chagrin, Coastal Carolina or Murray State, I'd be all right with those. And I know Murray State's probably a bigger Cinderella than Coastal Carolina.
Very much so. Coastal Carolina won it back in 2016.
They're just not as recognizable of a brand to most people. So
love the teal.
Any of those 4 schools, I remember the first year they made a deep run in the NCAA basketball tournament. I was down at the Andrews Institute about 10 or 11 years ago, and I was watching that on TVs while I was rehabbing. So any of those 4 schools, and Arkansas would be all right. So basically not Arizona, Louisville, or LSU. I'd be happy with any of the other 5 schools.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of LSU fans walking by. I got word, Adam, that tomorrow night LSU basically sold out Blur.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
So LSU is here. They're going to be last year I was talking to Eric, who so graciously brought these fans over. I know we got to get to break here in a second, but so graciously brought these fans over. Here's the deal. They had sold 500 tickets pre-sale for Auburn, who played Coastal Carolina in the Super Regionals. Auburn bought 500 tickets pre-sale and was like, yeah, we want to be out here. Yeah, let's do it. They didn't make it. But then also Tennessee was like, yeah, we'll sell you out as long as we get out there. Tennessee didn't make it because they lost to Arkansas.
So what happens with those tickets now? They're just out? They're just out the money?
They're just out.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah. Hey, shout out to Blur.
Hey, I was going to say shout out to Blur,
they
man.
got it figured
business
out.
is business. I got nothing but love for them.
It's incredible. There was that you had. You got a giant tiger. He told me that it was valued at $500,000. It's a $500,000. So it's a parade float.
That freaking tiger I'm looking at right now is $500,000.
Is $500,000. It's $500,000. It took. That's what it cost to build. It's a parade float that goes in the Mardi Gras parade down there. So there's a guy named Brett Kern who built the float. He asked LSU. He's like, "Hey, do you guys want to have this at your games? You don't have to pay me anything for it." LSU was like, "No, we don't want it. We don't want it." So he's like, "Fine, I'm going to build it anyways." So he owns Kern Studios. Is very involved in the Mardi Gras parades down in New Orleans. Built the giant tiger. There's a little hatch on the side of the tiger that the stairs drop down. You walk up and you stand up through the top and you ride in the parade down the Mardi Gras parade down on Bourbon Street.
All right, so I got a couple of thoughts. Number one, I'm very surprised. Not that it's not a wonderful tiger, but $500,000. Okay. Number two, that's phenomenal and awesome, and I love the passion. Number three, part of me is like, hey, let's donate a little bit of that to the NIL fund.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm just saying, a little bit of that to the NIL fund.
No, LSU doesn't need it.
Well, they don't need it. That's for
especially
sure.
in baseball. They're doing just fine. Here they are.
Football, baseball.
Can I ask? Are you going to indulge in the Jello shots at all?
Probably not.
We can't walk over there and get one.
Well, I got like 5 hours of driving. I got a weekend baseball tournament with my 9-year-old.
Heck yeah.
Do you have any kids?
No, I'm 24. I do not. Not that there's anything wrong with 24-year-olds with 20. Not that there's anything wrong with 24-year-olds having kids.
We were 25 when we had my oldest.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm heavily involved in the youth baseball scene though, and so I'm very very familiar with that.
It skews things a little bit when you have
Cedar
kids
Rapids?
because no, it's in Iowa.
Oh, nice. So Cedar Rapids.
Yes, Cedar Rapids. Because my wife's going to Rapid City. Sorry.
Hey, that was funny. I was like, so is it Cedar Rapids?
Well,
no, it's in Iowa.
My wife's going to Rapid City for
Gotcha.
a national regional soccer tournament for our daughter, so I get the two mixed up in my head. No, man,
Cedar
when you
Rapids
have
has
kids,
a great Mexican restaurant.
Well, that's music to my ears.
So.
I love Mexican restaurants. But I'll tell you what, when you have kids, it changes how you plan and look ahead.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, it doesn't matter how I feel when I go to bed or when I wake up or how late I go to bed. When 6 a.m. rolls around or 2:45, I love you, Jordan, but what are you doing in our room at 2:45 running all over the place? Your kids expect you to be up. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we better head to break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage and do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 convenient locations. So, you coming? Get all the perks with the PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, you won't want to miss this exclusive offer. Deal ends June 13th.
See Club for details.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300 $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750. All through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive. When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Be at the 32nd Annual Testicle Festival for live music, hot nuts, and meet Buster the Bull. It's at Round the Bend Steakhouse in Ashland, June 14th from 11 to 10. Take I-80 exit 426, roundthebendsteakhouse.com.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com. Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at lincolnstars.com today before it sells out.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. If you didn't know, now you know. We are live from Blur Tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., ladies and gentlemen. Doors open daily at this great location, 10:30 a.m. to midnight through June 21st. Corner of 12th and Cass. Let me repeat that. Corner of 12th and Cass. You cannot miss the big white tent for Blur. Parties on the south side of the Cass Street. Also, the $500,000 Tiger that's out front as well is a good indicator. This is the 13th annual tailgate with an all-inclusive bar and buffet, 18 TVs showing live baseball games, multiple seating options, including a hammock. Buy tickets at the door, or more preferably, please purchase at www. I don't know if there's an extra W in there, but you get the point. blurevents.com/Omaha. All right, couple of stats here. The final tournament records heading into Omaha for each conference. Now, the SEC was 31-24. They had the most amount of teams in, set an all-time record for most amount of teams into the postseason tournament. Their winning percentage was .564. Not too bad. Two teams heading to Omaha. The conference with the actual best winning percentage was the ACC. They were 28-19 overall. .596 edging out the SEC winning percentage. The Big Ten, while not having as many teams, went 8-6 overall, actually had a higher winning percentage here than the SEC. Very close, but .571, edging out the SEC just a smidge. Big 12 comes in at .464. The Sun Belt, 8-2, 800 winning percentage. Crown them the champs. All right, what else do we got here? We don't need to go through each and every one of these. The Pac-12, number of teams in the College World Series is 1. Had a .750 winning percentage, 6-2. All right, on their road throughout the postseason so far, as a grasshopper flies in my eye, or whatever that was. All right, my man, briefly.
Yeah.
A little bit of softball here.
Yes, please.
You probably saw this. Texas Tech drew 2.4 million viewers. Your head goes down. I'm going to know what that's about in a second. For Game 3 Well, the game wasn't phenomenal, but it was the national championship game for Game 3 on ESPN as the Longhorns, gag me, you won the national title. It's the most ever watched college softball game ever. Yeah. Why does your head go down?
Well, because you said Texas Tech, and I don't know if you've seen what they're doing out of the portal right now.
Have
you seen any of that?
I'm not on top of softball with Texas Tech, no.
Somebody say tampering?
Oh,
yeah, I highly recommend that everybody out there listening right now, if you want a little lunchtime reading, to go in and see what Texas Tech is doing right now in the softball world.
Okay.
They have found loopholes. That's where I'll leave it at that. They have found loopholes.
Well, hold on. What can you let us in on?
So there was, for example, they just grabbed a third baseman from the University of Tennessee and it was it's very, very interesting because so they've had about 5 transfers this year.
Okay.
That I would categorize as 5 stars because here's unfortunately what's happened is the University of Texas Tech. Lubbock isn't great. Have you been to Lubbock? You've been to Lubbock.
Unfortunately, yes.
It's not a destination.
I'm aware. Much like Waco, but
just
go ahead.
Very much like Waco.
Yeah.
Texas Tech fell just short of achieving a national championship this year. They have $1 million pitcher in Nigeri Kennedy.
Yep.
And they said, okay, what do we need to build around her? Well, they're building a super team, essentially. They went to get the starting third baseman from the University of Tennessee. This is how you kind of know just there's something going on. 4 All-Americans have transferred to Texas Tech this year. 4 All-Americans have transferred to Texas Tech this year. One of them, the Tennessee third baseman, how about this one, is after Tennessee lost in the Women's College World Series, there's been audio discovered of her going, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I want to be a Lady Vol. What it means to be a Lady Vol is something special. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. I'm not going anywhere. Guess who posted that? A sports TV station down in Knoxville said, feel like this is a good time to bring this up. Why? She enters the portal yesterday with a do not contact tag. And then 2 hours later, she's going to Lubbock. There's something going on. They Texas Tech, they have a plethora of money. They have one of the biggest donors in the world.
I was going to say, yep.
There's something going on. This is where I talk about the investment. They looked at it and said, you know what? We feel like we can dominate in the softball world. Let's go all in and win ourselves a natty.
So they're the number one, for those who don't know, the number one transfer portal class in college football this past year. Obviously,
that's crazy.
All in, which, I'm following the portal throughout the entire offseason. I'm like, wow, Tech is up there. Tech is up there. Tech is number one. Tech is still number one. What in the world? Texas Tech, they have a gigantic donor, as you mentioned. All right, and now they are going beyond just football. I wasn't even aware of the softball. No, I'm not an expert on Texas Tech softball or the portal there, but I'm not shocked. I will say this. I think I said, I think it was Wednesday. I said Texas Tech is my favorite to win the Big 12.
Yeah.
I got them favored to win the Big 12. I think LSU is actually going to do great things in the SEC and surprise some people as well. But Texas Tech, man, they are investing. And when you get a big-time donor like that, it can make a huge impact. And they're going to start winning a lot more things. I just hope they don't get the 1984-esque SMU treatment at some point, if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah. So there's an article, and I'll retweet this. It says how an NIL loophole is transforming Texas Tech into a softball powerhouse. And it basically says they have turned the college softball world upside down with announcements from multiple transfers over the last 3 days. As an ad pops up, Caitlin Terry from UCLA, Jasmine Burns, Mia Williams, Jackie List, who are all 4 All-Americans, and then the one that they got in I'm gonna butcher her name. It's Parnell, the third baseman from Tennessee. It says NCAA rules prevent head coaches from recruiting players actively on opponents' rosters, but there aren't rules in place to prevent a third party from approaching those players.
Okay.
The loophole has opened the door for All-Americans to join head coach Gary Glasso's program. The Matador Club, Texas Tech's name, image, and likeness collective, and coach Nathan Nelson of Hot Shots Fast Pitch, a travel organization based in Texas, have all been reportedly heavy in the process. They also mentioned that on Sports Illustrated, a parent of a player was contacted by Nelson and said in exchange for to say anonymous, they would receive a 6-figure offer to transfer to Texas Tech. That is a player of a Texas Tech player that transferred just this season. Hey, if you stay anonymous about what we're doing and that we're contacting you, we'll give you 6 figures.
Well,
There
I
you
don't
go.
know. It's hard
Loopholes.
for me.
And unfortunately, we're against the clock.
No, I get it. One final thought. It's hard for me to even be upset. If it's not illegal, then you got to change the rules.
If you're not cheating, you're not trying, which is
Man.
not even cheating because it's legal.
It's hard for me to be upset. I don't like it, to be clear. But how do you
100%.
get upset? All right, ladies and gentlemen,
'Cause
hour
guess what?
2.
Natties.
Well, at this point, I can pretty much expect them to go undefeated, to be
100%.
honest with you.
100%.
All right, don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Hour 2 when we come back.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at LincolnStars.com today before it sells out.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $185. This plan includes tickets to Michigan or USC, plus Akron or Houston Christian, and either Michigan State, Northwestern, or Iowa. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red!
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at A1AutoLincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Be at the 32nd Annual Testicle Festival for live music, hot nuts, and meet Buster the Bull. It's at Round the Bend Steakhouse in Ashland, June 14th from 11 to 10. Take I-80 exit 426, roundthebendsteakhouse.com.
Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage and do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 convenient locations. So, you coming? Get all the perks with the PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, You won't want to miss this exclusive offer. Deal ends June 13th.
See Club for details.
The weekend is here, and you and the boys need a place to hang out after your day on the golf course. Lucky for you, that place exists at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill in South Lincoln. The 19th hole at the course is great, but it doesn't have 30 TVs showing all sports with 23 beers on tap. You can enjoy all of that at Liquid Assets, as well as delicious smash burgers, wings, and much more. Don't end your hangout after the golf round ends. Get to Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are live on site from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. here at the Blur Tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha. Ladies and gentlemen, doors open daily from 10:30 a.m. to midnight through June 21st, corner of 12th and Cass. You can't miss the big white tent for Blur parties on the south side of Cass Street. And I can't get over the $500,000 Tiger. I'm just going to mention that every single time we talk about all of this because that's just awesome.
You got to get your fill because they're taking it away tomorrow. They're tomorrow night is the last night. They're going to have it here for LSU Arkansas. I was talking to Eric, obviously, one of the owners of Blur Parties, and he and his wife Stacy are incredible people. But they were saying that they wanted to make sure that people knew just because there's a giant tiger, it's not an LSU party. Everybody is welcome.
The only thing that's acceptable in my mind now is if they bring in the live tiger.
Live tiger. I wanted to ask Eric, how can I stand up at the top of the float?
Dude, that'd be sweet.
I mean, obviously it opens up.
That's pretty sweet.
The creator's sons are going to be here. I might as well show up and ask at least.
First of all, if you haven't been here, come down, check out the float. If you can't for some reason make it, all right, think of a Macy's Day Parade float like on Thanksgiving, New Year's, just a gigantic freaking tiger. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the 13th annual tailgate with an all-inclusive bar and buffet, 18 TVs showing live baseball games, multiple seating options, including a hammock. All right, buy tickets at the door, or more preferably, please purchase at www.blurevents.com/Omaha to put a button on the Texas Tech loophole.
Yeah,
I about said scandal. It's not a scandal. Loophole endeavor. First of all, like if I'm playing Yahtzee, I don't know if anybody's listening and ever played Yahtzee. I think you get 2 rolls per turn, or maybe I forget. It's been so long. But if I get 3 rolls per turn, I'm going to take 3 rolls. I'm not going to take 2. So my point is, if you're Texas Tech and you find this and it's legal, why in the blue blazes would you not do it? So I'm not even mad at them. I'm not happy about it. But the other thing, you showed me a thing where it said some of these players were contacted in April, again, by an independent third party.
Which is legal.
And this is an NIL collective, so it doesn't even affect the $20.5 million revenue cap.
That's the part that's like most fascinating. I think we're about to see universities get real creative.
That's a great way of putting it, creative. I like that.
Seriously, I think because if you have creative minds, they're going to say, okay, how much do we have in the NIL compartment in terms of the collective? But then how much do we have to work with actual revenue sharing?
Yes.
Because are we able to fund sports X and Y sports A, B, and C with the NIL collective? So then we can only focus with revenue sharing, saying, okay, programs that are X, Y, and Z. Yep. Because if you're Texas Tech here, you have a very lucrative donor that's going to pledge year after year $40+ million. Well, guess what? You can sit there and say, all right, you know what? For some of maybe the Olympic sports, we can make now they're not going to. They're going to do it for football and men's basketball and the major sports. They're going to use
And
that.
softball, apparently.
The rev sharing. They're
Yep.
going to use that as the funds for rev sharing. But then from the NIL collective, the Matador Club, they're going to say, hey, don't worry. We got your back, and whatever you need to spend to make baseball successful, to make softball successful, to make whatever other sport, rowing, if you want to make that successful, we got the stuff for it. And so because also in those sports, you're not talking about the same dollar figures as you are in football and
that's a
men's
fair
basketball.
point. Yes. Although you did mention wasn't one of the softball players. You said six figures, and then you told me later it's like 750. Like there's six
I'm just
figures,
saying,
and then there's six figures.
Well, they're paying their pitcher millions. Nigel Kennedy.
Well, you said six figures. I think
you
like
want to talk about
100
here's
grand
the
or
thing.
200 grand, like 750. That's six figures and then some.
Here's what I would say, Adam. I mean, think about the lingo that is now being used in college athletics, which I think is fascinating. And I believe it was Pete Thamel of ESPN that released this. It was during the Women's College World Series, where it sounded like Nigel Kennedy was in a holdout, but she wasn't, because it was the morning of one of Texas Tech's softball games in the Women's College World Series, and it was like Texas Tech has agreed to an NIL deal according to Kennedy's agency, and then like they listed it, and I'm like, we're speaking about this as if we are in free agency or a player is being held out of minicamp or not showing up to voluntary OTAs because he's waiting for a new contract. Like, this isn't Trey Hendrickson of the Cincinnati Bengals. This is a college softball pitcher that we're talking about and having released of, hey, she signed a new deal for the 2025-2026 season. Like, that is the lingo that we are using now at the college athletics in those rooms. And I guess it's time to get used to it.
It's semi-pro sports. I mean, that's what it's becoming.
What makes it semi?
Because they're not professionals yet.
Okay.
Like if our national champion played the Super Bowl champion, it's not going to go well for our national champion.
Of course not. No.
All right. I'm sure you've seen this. Omaha's own Terrence Crawford will fight Canelo Alvarez September 13th, Las Vegas. The fight will be on Netflix. All right, Nick. Who's going to win? What's your anticipation coming into this?
Are we even having this conversation?
Yes, I asked the question.
Bud Crawford.
Well, I think so too. I just thought I'd at least bring it up and we chat about it for 30 seconds.
Can you imagine the outrage if I would have been like, you know what, I really like Canelo Alvarez in this fight? Like, can you imagine that the text line would have exploded? But no, I don't think that's the case at all. Bud is incredible. I also hope that Netflix has it figured out more than what they did with the Tyson.
Oh my Lord,
that was
awful.
That's the more notable piece for me. Is all right. Attempt number 2. Here we go. Try it again.
So, okay, obviously a lot of Nebraskans are going to tune in. A lot of boxing fans, a lot of people around the world are going to tune into this. Do you think this will have quite the same amount of tunage as
Absolutely.
Tyson Paul did?
Absolutely.
You think so?
I think you're going to.
So.
I think you're going to have more of the pure fans of the sport tuning in.
Did Tyson take a fall?
Okay.
Yep. Out of nowhere, left field. Let's go.
Yes, it was staged. Yes.
You think so?
Staged. Yes.
Vince McMahon played a part. Is that what you're saying? Are you blaming Vince for this?
I'm not getting into the
well, I didn't mean that.
I'm not getting into the nooks and crannies
predetermined.
of it.
You think it was predetermined?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was. Because guess what? They made a lot of money off of that fight.
They did.
And if I have to stand up there and act all tough at age 55 or however old Mike Tyson is to make a couple extra $1 million, I'll probably do it.
You know, I would have never believed it. That Tyson
I didn't want to believe it.
Would do that. I don't want to believe it. But when you go back and you watch the fight, we all remember Tyson biting his gloves, something we've never seen him do. Not consistently in any fight ever. And he couldn't stop doing it that fight. It's almost like that was his way of holding back. And there's little things here and there where it looked like he was holding back, but you can't. It looked like he was.
That's what was frustrating.
Well,
it's like
the biting of the gloves. Like, that is something you do that's out of the ordinary when you're doing something you don't normally do, trying to cope with it.
And that's what my thing is. Like, I remember watching it and being like, just kick the bleep out of him. Like, do it. We know you can.
Yeah.
Like, let's go. Because I think we were just we wanted him. There was nothing against Paul. It was just one of those things of like you wanted to see a sliver of vintage Tyson.
It needed to last a certain amount for people to feel like they got their money's worth or they turned in for a reason.
It lasted long enough because everybody was buffered and they were 28 minutes behind what actually was happening. So
that's very true, and that was very annoying. But I think I don't know. I know this won't be predetermined. I'm obviously going to take Bud, and that's even the Nebraska side out of me. You know, this is almost asinine for me to say because it was so long ago. I remember when I was in St. Louis, and Canelo fought Pacquiao. And I can't get how ugly that fight was out of my mind. It was so one-sided for Pacquiao. It was so long ago. It's so ridiculous for me to even bring that up now. I just can't get that out of my mind, though.
This is an off-the-wall question. Who was your head coach in St. Louis?
Oh, God.
Were you before Jeff Fisher?
Scott Linehan.
Okay.
Because he got fired 4 games into my second year. Has was the interim coach, and then they brought in Spagnuolo.
Gotcha.
I could picture Linehan in my mind, but I couldn't think of his name for some reason.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, no,
I mean, brought that up?
Nothing at all. It was just
nothing at all.
Just a genuine question.
Okay.
It came into my mind. I mean, how can we be in a bad mood right now, Adam? I mean, honestly, how can we be in a bad mood? Look at this place.
I'm in a great mood.
I mean, we have fans now next to us.
Yeah, got quite the crowd.
The actual blowing fans, not the crowd. The blowing fans. I mean, the dartboard is calling my name in a couple of minutes. It might just be a quick couple throws during the commercial break. The College World Series kicks off, or first pitch is in 47 minutes.
Looking forward to it, man.
Gosh.
It's an exciting day, exciting times down here at the Blur tailgate. All right. We were going to talk about this yesterday. We ran out of time. So ESPN predicts Big Ten order of finish ahead of the 2025 college football season. Now, you've already seen number 18 because it's been sitting here on my computer screen for about an hour and 13 minutes. All right, it's Purdue. Are you shocked in any way, shape, or form that they have Purdue this college football now? I assume people picked that up. Picked to finish 18th in the conference.
Of course not. I think now we get really infatuated by these rankings a lot at times. Purdue, it's really unfortunate that I'll say it that Ryan Walters didn't work out. I liked what Ryan Walters did as the defensive coordinator at Illinois, and it was always curious to me if Deion Sanders didn't go back to Colorado. Excuse me. I kind of thought that maybe Ryan Walters would get the job at Colorado. Instead of Purdue, because Ryan Walters is an alum of Colorado. He was a guy that after obviously maybe he could bring him up from the depths. Who knows? But either way, Purdue is a tough spot, which I think the farther we get removed from Jeff Brom, maybe it becomes more impressive of what he did, because I think it's as the I hate to bring it up, but the evolving landscape of college athletics and college football. Purdue's going to be a spot where it's very tough to get anything going in the right direction consistently, because if you have a couple of stars on your team that show up and show out, then guess what? They're probably going to look for a new home eventually.
Yeah, you're right. Like the haves are going to have more and the have-nots are going to have less as time goes along. And unfortunately, in their own state, Purdue's number 3. You got Notre Dame, Indiana, and Purdue now. I could conceivably see of a day down the road. 2031 is going to be a big year, I think. Mentioned that a million times on the show. But eventually down the road, I could see, how do I put this? I'm just going to say it, trimming the fat. Like they want to make the most amount of money for the big name, big brand schools. With all due respect to a school like, I look at a school like Purdue, even Northwestern, academically phenomenal. But they're not bringing in as much as they're taking out. And big name schools, Ohio State, Michigan, etc., Penn State, Nebraska starts winning. We can talk about us in that conversation as well. Are going to say, why are we carrying more? Because sometimes less can become more when it comes to our bigger piece of the pie. I'm not trying to project negative things for Purdue, but it wouldn't shock me if that started to happen down the road. All right, who you got at number 17?
Well, I think for Purdue, real quick, men's basketball is number 1.
Well, that's a fair point.
Right? It's
that's
like you have to bring in the Big Ten Conference, men's basketball matters a lot, rightfully so. And that's like Purdue's.
Northwestern's going to be.
Northwestern's the one that I think more specifically with that analogy.
All right, who do you got at 17? I don't know. Who's next?
Oh my gosh, this is bad. I mean, there's multiple teams that I would say. I mean, Rutgers is up there. As I'm going through the list,
Maryland, Northwestern, Rutgers are the first 3 that popped into my head.
Northwestern, as much as I love David Braun,
and you nailed it. Northwestern at number 17. All right, and by the way, they were given a 0% chance of winning the Big Ten championship, according to 0%. So I assume Purdue was 0% as well. All right, Northwestern, man, it was so unfortunate. Obviously, what happened under Pat Fitzgerald. Just what happened. He's not their coach anymore. Northwestern football was not great, to put it absurdly kindly, before 93. Then they were not great again. By the way, that's the year they went, or 95, the year they went to the Rose Bowl. Pat Fitzgerald was their All-American linebacker. They were not great for quite a while. Then he becomes their head coach, takes them to their first bowl game ever, has them competing at a high level. What happens. He's gone. They had one season immediately following that was okay, but they just haven't been the same since. Yeah. And I get really nervous, not only about this year, but about their future in general. being a part of the Big Ten, just to be honest with you.
Okay, maybe we can have this in a big picture conversation. Do we expect like the Big Ten Conference at some point, or any major conference, to ever come in and be like, all right, hey, this school, it's time, you got to go, you got to get out, like you got to move? Like I don't know if I ever.
It's been mentioned. I know it's been mentioned.
That just seems so foreign to me.
Okay. We just talked about what college football looks like now for
right.
sports versus 2019. To me, nothing is
Am I
far-fetched.
denying it?
At this point, nothing is. I almost
like. Do you see what I'm saying though? Is like think about
promoted in relegation in soccer.
Yep.
I don't think that'll ever happen because they want more set plans for college sports.
Absolutely.
But that wouldn't shock me at some point if that happens.
So here I guess maybe is the question of like, if the Big Ten, do we see conferences at some point going, let's move Northwestern out or this school out and move this school in because it gives us more media value?
Possibly, or just moving a school out.
Because but
that
then,
slice
but then
of the pie becomes bigger.
Yeah, but also the overall total becomes less.
So you make a fair point, but I'm being told, and I still can't believe it, but I've been told by multiple people that I trust, the Big Ten and SEC are not interested in Florida State Clemson. I still find that impossible to believe.
Okay.
But people have told me that. They're like, the SEC already has South Carolina. I don't know why the Big Ten wouldn't be interested in Florida State Clemson. And I hope I'm wrong because I'd love to have Florida State and Clemson in the Big Ten if the ACC is not around one day. But my point is they're like Adam. They have to be able to offset their piece of the pie getting smaller by what they're going to bring in. And I would think Florida State Clemson would do that. But that's why Washington and Oregon State were not included with Washington and Oregon going to the Big Ten or even the Big 12. They were left out.
This might be an interesting conversation to have with Tony Petitti in a couple of weeks when I'm at Big Ten Media Days. It's going to be because I just, not that we'd be able to have that conversation on air, but it'll be interesting just to kind of get knowledge because overall I think Tony Petitti's done it in a really good way to where he's been strategic in it, where other commissioners have just been like, we need to get everything we can, and it's been a little bit more chaotic. I think
I'd agree with that.
As my mind just going different in multiple directions here, I'm encouraged in what the Big Ten's future looks like.
Yep.
I also wonder from a media rights standpoint, do we start to see, and TV companies will never want this, do we start to see shorter term deals? Like we're seeing now from a conference standpoint, sure, the stability and the longevity is important for a Big Ten conference to know, okay, for the next 10 years or 7 years, we have Fox Sports in our back pocket. We have Fox in our back pocket. But from the TV side of things, you're probably able to have get it for a better bang for your buck 5 years now when the market just has increased. But do we start to see where conferences are like, let's go 3 years? And in those next 3 years, let's work towards increasing the value so that eventually instead of a $1.05 billion deal, we can make it a $1.25 billion deal.
Possibly.
Do you see where I'm saying with
Possibly.
that?
I could especially see it with the Big 12 and ACC where
Okay.
their futures are so up in the air.
Sure.
Even the ACC especially, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, I just think I think that's kind of where I'm at is, I can ramble for days of is there enough of a pro potential there, like a pro versus con type of thing? And can you convince TV executives to say yes?
Well, that would be the question. Because I guarantee they want to lock conferences in for longer term because the more times you come, I know this from the NFL, the more times you come back to the negotiating table, the more expensive it becomes and the quicker it is.
Absolutely.
All right. How much time we got here? Oh, we got time. All right. Who do you got next? I'll take a guess. I'm just going to say Maryland.
I think it's Maryland.
Okay, Maryland.
There
Dude,
it
we
is.
are 2 for 2 on this guessing train. We're rocking it out. All right, Maryland. Hey, 0.2% chance to win in the Big Ten this
So
year.
you're saying there's a chance.
And I don't want to talk long about Maryland. We have a road trip to Maryland.
Hello.
Followed by a Friday night game at Minnesota. And that's what sticks out to me when I think of Maryland this year. Does that road trip to Maryland, halfway across the country, if not a little bit more, make you nervous? And then a Friday night game to follow it up at Minnesota make you nervous? If you're a Nebraska fan, it makes me nervous.
I don't think so. I don't think you can use those anymore. I don't think we can use those excuses anymore. And I'm not saying you
If they lose, you'll hear it.
Yeah, right.
Just FYI.
Right. But I don't think it's we can't do that anymor.
Okay.
I
agree with you.
I know you do. And that's
Yeah.
where it's that's why I was okay with saying it. You're a lot stronger than me. No, I'm just kidding. I just sat there and we can't keep doing the same old song and dance where it's at some point, if you want to take that next step into being an elite program, you got to operate like an elite program.
Yep.
And elite programs, whether they lose or they win, they don't complain about the road trips.
Dude, you're a smart man, and I love a lot of what you say. That may be my favorite thing you've ever said.
Thank you.
And that's saying a lot because you say a lot of smart things.
I just say a lot of things.
What'd you say?
I just say a lot of things.
You say a lot of things? Okay.
You don't even need the adjective in there.
No excuses. Like, just find a way to win.
Yeah,
just find a way to win.
I'm so ready for whether it's football, baseball, basketball. Like, I'm so ready for excuses and caveats to stop.
Yeah. Just get it done. Like, it's time.
And if you don't, then just say we just didn't get it done. Like,
I'm
okay with that too. Like, let's just can we just cut all the bull crap out, or like bull junk, as Deion Sanders says? Can we just cut the bull junk out? I just like.
Dude, love it.
I mean, at the end, like when it's all said and done, the schedule's the schedule. We're gonna have these conversations in July and at Big Ten Media Days. We're gonna have these conversations like, wow, what does Nebraska got to do? Man, they could be 11-0 going into Penn State or whatever the conversation is. But how about let's just get it done against Cincinnati. Let's get it done against Akron and let the chips fall where they may. And yeah, maybe Nebraska got a pretty favorable slate this year. If we want to go down this road,
do you want to go down that road again?
No, I do not.
Okay.
Nebraska got a pretty favorable slate. There's a lot of other schools that could be whining and moaning that aren't.
That's true.
That's just the way you got to operate. At some point, you got to say, and I'm not saying that necessarily the guys internally but are doing this, but I think when it's all said and done, like, you got to be all in this like universal belief of, if we don't get it done, then Nebraska just didn't get it done. And if they did, great. On to the next one.
You think about Ohio State. They played Penn State in the regular season on the road. They played Oregon in the regular season last year on the road. They played Michigan on their home field. Obviously, they lost. They did not have an easy slate. Yeah. Now, their non-conference was a joke, but their Big Ten conference slate was not easy. I never once heard Ryan Day point any of that out or talk about schedule or who we're playing. By the way, wouldn't you love to get to Penn State's problem, which is we beat everyone we're supposed to beat. Now, how do we get over the Ohio State-Michigan hump? But
they did. Because now with the playoff, you're able to. You don't have to.
Well, what I'm saying is they could have a road trip to Washington and then a short week of Friday night game, go halfway across the country to Illinois, and you wouldn't hear a peep out of them. Yeah. And if they lose, you wouldn't hear a peep out of them. I'd love to get to that,
think about what's going on right now with like the whole Texas-Ohio State thing, where they're like people are pissed because it's being played in the midday instead of at night. Like, sure, from an optics standpoint, yeah, I'd love to. How about you just strap them up and play?
Yeah.
Like, I say this. I remember listening to Ryan Day last year at Big Ten Media Days in Indianapolis, and he was very, very open and upfront and honest about his program and what they do and how they operate. And he was very forthcoming with information. And Adam, you know this. Some coaches aren't.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know what? The way I look at that is, if you're doing everything the right way and you have confidence in what you're doing, you want to tell people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're worried about how people view you or how people judge you, number one, you probably shouldn't be a head coach at the Division I level. But number two is you're doing something wrong, and you want to hide it from people. The programs, Nebraska's been this traditionally where they've been like worried about, hey, we don't want to show people this, we don't want to show people this, like game plans, all that. My thing is this: if you have confidence in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and if you're handling your business, you can say, okay, go ahead. Like Ohio State they don't care who they play. They're going to, like, Ohio State's not holding back against Toledo because they play Texas the next week. They're going to run up the score. It's going to be 62-3, and they're going to say, all right, on to the next one. We're going to do the same exact thing. Because why? Because we know we can set up against you and say we're better than you.
Okay, so I am going to go here, and it may sound stupid, and I know we got to go to a break. But I said in the first 15 minutes of the show, certain things travel. It does not matter the sport. It does not matter the level. Certain things, not everything. It does not matter the age. Whenever I have coached kids all the way up through high school, I tell them we're going to be who we are. We know exactly who we are. And in football, play fast, hit hard, have fun. We're going to blitz, hit you in the mouth. Now, we may have to adjust based on what the other team is doing when we get to the game. Of course, we're going to game plan. But we know who we are. We're not going to sit here and question and wonder and say, oh, this person said this and that person said that, and worry about this and that. And if it doesn't go our way, hold the mirror towards everybody. We're going to hold the mirror towards ourselves and evaluate what we're doing. How do we get better? It's hilarious because the other day, I think it was a high school soccer game. There was a dad walking around, and he's yelling at his daughter, which I would not advise. But he goes, no excuses, no excuses. Like he's yelling at her. She's like literally 15 feet from him. But I'm just like, man, no excuses at a certain point. Whatever the level is now, if we're talking kindergartners, third grade, let's chill out a little bit. But, like, at a certain point, it's no excuses. Just get the job done.
Started me on Pee-wee soccer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm coaching a third grade basketball team right now, and I'm going to be honest with you. I am trying to ingrain in them simple things. Simple things. We're going to attack. You're going to get it together, and you're going to get better every day. We're going to have fun in the process. And that is something that will stick with them, and then you can teach them more as you go along.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be all that different if I was coaching a defensive line at a college somewhere. We're going to attack, we're going to get better, and we're going to do it together and have fun. All right, no excuses. We're going to finish out the top 15. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com. Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds. The afternoon high around 87. Tonight, mainly clear skies and calm winds. Low near 68. And tomorrow, a slight chance of showers and storms in the afternoon. Otherwise, mainly sunny and hot with a high near 94. I'm meteorologist Kyle Collector for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
A1 Automotive's second location is now open at 5110 State Hill Drive, just off of Yankee Hill Road. The new location continues to specialize in all makes and models and provides personalized service as they have for 15 years. To honor the new store opening, A1 is offering $25 off any service over $300, $50 off services over $500, and $75 off services that total over $750, all through July 31st. Schedule your appointment today at a1autolincoln.com and visit their new location in South Lincoln at 5110 State Hill Drive.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Husker fans, the 2025 Nebraska football season is right around the corner, and we need your support in the Sea of Red at Memorial Stadium this fall. You can now purchase a Husker football 3-game mini plan for only $185. This plan includes tickets to Michigan or USC, plus Akron or Houston Christian, and either Michigan State, Northwestern, or Iowa. Tickets are only available while supplies last. To purchase your Husker football 3-game mini plan today, or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets. Go Big Red.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. We got about 30 minutes left of this fine program. If we get out of here on time, it's more like 23. All right, we're live from Blur Tailgate at the Hilton in Omaha. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Doors open daily from 10:30 a.m. to midnight through June 21st at the corner of 12th and Cass. Can't miss the big white tent for Blur parties on the south side of Cass Street. And through the end of today, the gigantic Tiger as well. This is the 13th annual tailgate with an all-inclusive bar and buffet, 18 TVs showing live baseball games, multiple seating options, including a hammock. Buy tickets at the door, or more preferably, please purchase at www.blurevents.com/Omaha. All right, we got to pick up the pace here just a smidge. Who do you got at number 15?
I'll stop talking.
No, you're good. Who you got at 15?
I think it's Michigan State, unfortunately.
Ooh, I'm not going to go Michigan State. Rutgers. Ooh, did you peek at this?
Did
you peek at this?
I did not. I just know how
Michigan
the national media views Jonathan Allen or Jonathan Smith. I love that man. There is not a coach I love more in the Big Ten than Jonathan Smith.
Take that, Matt Rule. Nick Sainer just taking shots at Matt Rule.
No, don't put those words in my mouth.
No, I'm putting them in your mouth because it makes the show more fun to listen to.
Here's the thing. I think
doesn't have to be real, right?
No, I know. But no, I was really, really impressed by the job that Jonathan Smith did at Oregon State.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, he was a guy that he was. You go back to that 2018 coaching carousel. He was in the same coaching carousel that Scott Frost got hired at Nebraska with. He was promoted at Oregon State as the head coach, was a salary of $2.8 million, which even in 2018 was like chump change to be a head coach at the Power 5 level. He took Oregon State and made them a very competitive place. He got a really nice quarterback in Aiden Childs. I'm excited to see what Aiden Childs can do at Michigan State this year. And I really like Jonathan Smith as a head coach.
All right. Random unnecessary.
I think it's a Michigan State problem, by the way.
I actually think they're going to be decent. I actually think they're going to halfway decent.
Athletic department issue.
Random, completely unnecessary question, which I'm sure we will get texts about. Had he been hired instead of Frost, would he still be our head coach here in Nebraska, Jonathan Smith?
No, because he would have been hired by a bigger school.
Oh, okay. All right. Who you got next?
Well, I think this next one's Rutgers.
You have definitely looked at this list at some point.
I have not.
It is Rutgers.
It's just lucky to see it's just the bottom feeders.
All right, Rutgers, ESPN gives them a 0.1% chance. So you're telling me there's a chance they could win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have a whole lot on Rutgers. Not shocked. I still like Greg Schiano. If anybody can get Rutgers winning, it's Greg Schiano because I'm not sure anyone else can. We'll see what Greg can do as he continues to go this second time around.
They're going to have to replace Kyle Monungai in the backfield, so that's a big part.
Yep, I agree. All right, UCLA. I forgot to have you guess, but UCLA, Deshaun Foster. Hey, man, they surprised me last year. I didn't know what to make of Deshaun. I know DP has experience with him, talks about how intelligent he was as a player, studying film, etc. Obviously a UCLA legend. I thought he did pretty good in year one as the UCLA head coach. What do you think about year two, real quick?
I think so, too, especially with working with what he had. I mean, let's talk about it. He's got Nico Iamaleava as his quarterback now. And at the college level, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have success.
Does he actually have a quarterback? Did you see Nico's numbers last year?
I think there was a big issue with the system that Nico was in at Tennessee.
Josh Heupel's system.
Yes, in terms of what Nico needs. In terms of what Nico needs. Now, granted, you could have done it without all the drama that was with it. So I think there's a little bit of a negative connotation associated with Nico Iamaleava.
A little bit?
Yeah, right. And so
if he plays well, people will forget that.
Yeah, 100%. And so I think Nico Iamaleava, if you don't have a quarterback, you don't have a chance of success. And so Deshaun, there was a lot of questions about what taking a running backs coach and making him a head coach in college for his first time, and he did fine last year. I think 13 is actually a little low for UCLA.
There's one game that happened last year. I'm not going to bring it up. You can figure out what it is. It really makes me mad when it comes to UCLA, but Nico Iamaleava's got a lot to prove. I will say this, his dad will never, ever represent me as an agent. All right, Illinois, what in the world are they doing this low? This is the team that has been talked about top 20, top 15 by some potential college football playoff candidates. I mean, they've got Luke Altmaier back. They got a lot of guys back. They got to replace both their wide receivers. Those guys were studs. What are your thoughts here quickly? Illinois, are they too low on this list?
I think so.
I think so, too.
They're replacing 87% of their production from last year. That's all you need to know. Experience, man.
That is true. All right. We have a green long sleeve shirt. I'm not interested in buying it. Minnesota, row the boat, Nick.
No.
All right. What are your thoughts here?
I'm out.
That's all you got?
I'm out on Minnesota. Every year we see PJ Fleck come by in a tighter and tighter suit, man. And I just, at some point, that thing's just going to pop.
Okay. All right, DP, if you want to hop in and stop me from telling this story, you can. We're sitting there at Big Ten Media Days last year. PJ Fleck walks by, stares right at you, begging to be interviewed, and you just stared back and said nothing, and he walked by, and you did not interview PJ Fleck. Why? Help me out with why.
Gangster.
I need more. What's that mean?
So there are certain times in life where you need to reestablish order.
Oh, okay.
You have to reestablish order, and you have to put people in the right in their right lane.
All right.
As The Rock would say, know your role and shut your mouth. To walk through like the building was yours.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
the man's never showed more an ankle. I mean, I've never seen a man show more ankle in his suit than PJ.
Well, he is a
Steve Urkel.
Well, he and
Steve Urkel.
He and Mark. Well,
he did it because he thought it looked good.
He's the ankle guy of the Big Ten, which is not an ankle conference. It's not an ankle conference. It's not an ankle conference. The Big Ten is not an ankle conference.
I swear.
We have to fully admit that Big Ten is a socks in the winter. It's a. Like, matter of fact, it may be a quarter zip and cardigan conference. It is not a bare ankles conference. That's not what. That's the old Pac-12. That is some parts of the old Southwest Conference. But the Big Ten Conference is not an ankles conference. And PJ Fleck, in his schmedium pants, pants, and ankles.
So he's the ankle guy of the Big Ten. I will never forget that comment.
Hey man, Brett Bielema. Then, if I see Brett Bielema in the same loafers that he wore last year without socks,
yes, I remember that.
That man.
Yes.
I mean, you could look at his ankles and they were like, dude, they're hurting.
Oh, his ankles were having a conversation.
Yeah.
They were having a conversation.
It went straight from calf to foot, but like it was like, hey man,
it wasn't cankle. It wasn't full cankle, but it was angry ankle.
I mean,
it was
red.
angry ankle.
It was the circulation was cut off.
Careful, Nick, because remember, Bielema's in charge of the Big Ten coaches text chain. He might start talking about you to Matt Rule in there, and it might get going amongst all these Big Ten coaches.
Nobody can
Mr.
deny
Ankle
it.
might get involved
once
here.
Again, nobody can deny it that he should have burned those shoes.
Well, Mr. Hanky from South Park. That's who I think if you animate PJ Fleck,
where is this going?
He's Mr. Ankle. He's Mr. Ankles, and I think that's a fair thing amongst coaches. I'm going to go over. I'm going to take a picture. So the State Farm is doing free bobbleheads, custom bobbleheads, right? And so, but you can go and put them in different sports. I'm going to go over there with a headshot of PJ Fleck, and we're going to name it Mr. Ankle.
I like it.
And we're going to that has to happen.
I'm all for it.
That absolutely has to happen.
That is phenomenal. All right. Who do you think we got next here, Nick? Who follows Mr. Ankle?
I actually think. I mean, where are we going? Probably Wisconsin or Iowa. It's an old Big Ten West friend.
Yep. Iowa. Okay. All right. Let's see. Go ahead.
The quarterback situation with Iowa is going to be interesting. Mark Gronowski from South Dakota State. We just talked about how important a quarterback is, and then they got one from the transfer portal. He plays a lot different than any Iowa quarterback than we've seen the last 5 years or 10 years. He's no Deacon Hill.
He's no Chuck Long.
No, certainly not. But I mean, he's a guy. He had 32 rushing touchdowns in his career at South Dakota State. I mean, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of variable on offense that Iowa decides to play with him.
You got any thoughts on Iowa here, DP?
I don't like them. I don't like talking about them. I don't like giving them credit, especially during the daytime.
I like it.
That is a nighttime only conversation, usually after an adult beverage, where I can say things that I'm not ashamed of.
And you know where you can get an adult beverage, guys? About 20 yards away from us. We're looking at it.
I went over. They have Minute Maid lemonade, which is a thing for me. It is a delicacy. It is a true, like, you don't find the Minute Maid lemonade is such a unique brand.
There he is.
That I had to do it. Farley shaved. He went home and shaved.
Yeah, he knew it was a big man. It was a big day today.
Yeah,
he knew it.
It was scruffy.
You look good, Farley.
He was scruffy.
The only thing I was going to say about Iowa is they better lose on Black Friday, and that's all I really care about.
Yeah, it's a thing. A young man that was being recruited visited, and Kirk Ferentz was actually human. Apparently, that was one of the 36 days a year that Kirk Ferentz assumes a human form.
All right.
And communicates in actual human language. So they caught him on a good day, and that's probably how they're still in the conversation.
All right. Who you got next here, Nick? You've been on fire so far.
Well, I said Wisconsin, Iowa in some order, so I got to stick with my guts and say Wisconsin. I think that Wisconsin.
How have you not looked at this before? This is crazy.
Here's the thing with Wisconsin.
Oh, you haven't figured out Rain Man sits next to you right now?
That's not. Don't blaspheme.
that Nicholas.
We got Ankle Man. We got Rain Man.
No, look, young
Man.
Nicholas. You could go through and ask him the home run champions of the Major League Baseball for the last 30 years, and he will rattle them off. Absolutely, Dustin Hoffman-esque.
One of the biggest steals is Eugenio Suarez. Eugenio Suarez is one of the best home run hitters in current baseball right now, but does not get the respect that he deserves. But anyway, no, Wisconsin, the Luke Fickell situation's wild. Okay, we talk about Ankle Man. Luke Fickell is Ankle Man just cooler.
There was a long pause after that.
It's harder to make fun of Luke Fickell's ankles than it is PJ Flex.
He's more believable. Like, I believe he could kick someone's butt a lot more believable.
Well, no, but I don't think he wants to.
He doesn't do it because he thinks it looks cool.
PJ Fleck is going to get beat up just because he thinks that he doesn't have to. He's above it. Fickell is a guy that you go, you know what? I should want to punch you, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
I could actually see that. So I got to ask, though, if Mr. Ankles walks by, is it ankle or ankles? What are we dubbing him? Mr.
Plural, because
Mr.
he
Ankles.
shows them both in full.
Yeah. Well, he does, and they talk to each other.
He has the short pants, but then he also holds his hands in his pockets and holds the pants up higher so that he shows more.
He does.
He pulls
That's
Does he wash his hands after going to the bathroom?
No, that was Jim Harbaugh.
I know that's Harbaugh. That's why I brought it up.
Jay Foreman. That is a Big Ten conference coaching
I
thing.
know.
That you could go up and down the list of 18, and I would guarantee you half of them don't wash their hands coming out of the bathroom.
Do you think Rule washes his hands?
Yes.
I would hope so.
You think
Yes.
so? He's very detail-oriented.
His wife would make him.
Ooh, I could see that.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ankles walks by this year, Big Ten Media Days in Vegas. Are you interviewing him?
No.
No? All right.
No.
The precedent has been set.
No. Standards. Standards, I tell you.
Somebody joined the
We're
show.
setting the tone.
Somebody joined the show 20 seconds ago and says, Mr. Ankles, who are they talking about?
Go
PJ
back and
Fleck.
rewind.
Come on, it's
Catch
PJ
up,
Fleck.
folks.
Is there any question?
Catch up, folks. All right, real quick, before we head to break, if you're not coming to Omaha for the College World Series, the best place in Lincoln to watch all the baseball with your guys is Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill. And this weekend, don't forget to watch the U.S. Open. There are 23 beers on tap, a specific bar for high-end bourbon and spirits. All right, 30 TVs showing the U.S. Open, College World Series, Major League Baseball, and more. Enjoy your delicious wings, handheld turkey sandwiches like the Turkey Melt, Liquid Gold Hamburger, the Bull Market Barbecue Burger, and more. Enjoy their brand new chocolate chip cookie skillet as well. Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane, just north of 27th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln. All right, go ahead.
You know how important portion size is?
Yes.
That Liquid Gold Hamburger is enough to feed yourself and your another
Me.
full-size human being.
You know how much I can eat, right?
Yeah. I mean, that
Not when I'm trying to lose weight, like actually eating.
The hamburger is massive, and then the portion of fries is plentiful.
All right.
I'll just put my attest to that.
That is now.
I've been to Liquid Assets 4 times, and I've gotten the same thing every single time.
That is now on my list.
Never left starved.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to go to break. When we come back, we got to go rapid fire. We got 8 teams to get through. Where does Nebraska land? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, baseball fans, join the Blur Tailgate at Hilton Omaha this June for our 12th annual hospitality event during the College Baseball Championship Series. Book an experience for your clients or employees with an inclusive bar, buffet, TVs, music, and tailgate games. Secure your spot today and let Blur Events take care of all the work so you can enjoy the day. Plus, we're just steps away from Charles Schwab Field. Visit blurevents.com to book your group, buy tickets, or learn about sponsorships. That's blurevents.com, your college baseball and football tailgate destination.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
With the Planet Fitness Black Card, you can bring a friend anytime and so much more when you join today. You heard that right. Conquer the stair climber with your partner in climb. Enjoy a post-workout recovery session in the hydro massage and do it all again with access to any of our 2,700 convenient locations. So, you coming? Get all the perks with the PF Black Card for $1 down and $24.99 a month.
Hurry, you won't want to miss this exclusive offer. Deal ends June 13th.
See Club for details.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the second season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Early break.
Getting after it. So you're getting coffeeed up at the mill? Yeah. So I walk over to people.
Would you be willing to come on every day? Is there something that you'd be able to do?
You know, actually, I got a lot of things to say.
If you please every Friday, at least before a game, Coach, we'd love to have you. It'd be a riot.
With Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. All right, Nick, we got to move quickly, my friend.
All right, I go quick.
All right, who's next?
What is it? I have to remember who we have left.
Number 8.
After Wisconsin.
Yep.
Like, it's probably like a team I'm not confident in this year is Indiana.
This is ridiculous. Indiana is at 8. Can Kurt Cignetti do it again? Not a single team we've talked about yet has even had a 1% chance to win the Big Ten. They're at 0.9. That's the highest. I think year 2, Indiana takes a bit of a dip, but I don't think they fall completely off. I think they get 8 or 9 wins. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I mean, sure. If we want to put a metric on it, I think 8 or 9 wins is there. I think I'm curious to see, like, once the luster runs off of Kurt Cignetti, what do they do? They have an easy start with the non-conference slate, but then it starts to pick up and they have to play a couple of difficult teams. I think a road trip to Oregon's in their mix. I think a road trip to Penn State is also on their schedule as well. And now in a Big Ten conference that doesn't have divisions, you got to be able to contend in every single game. You don't get to slack off against cross division rivals and teams and still say, well, we won the Big Ten West. We're going to Indy.
Yeah, they really only had one challenging game last year. That was Ohio State. No disrespect to ourselves, but we know how that game went. They got a few more challenges on the schedule this year. All right, Washington, DP, what are your thoughts on Washington? And they have a fresh quarterback who was a true freshman last year. Some project him to be ahead of Dillon this year, possibly. What are your thoughts on Washington and their young QB?
Well, young quarterbacks do what young quarterbacks do. They're exceptional days. Putting them in the top 8 of anything is a risk because of young quarterback play. We know hot runs hot, cold runs cold, and they're both coming. So with Washington, schedule-wise, it looks good for them, shapes up for them, but the Dogs have to defend. The Huskies have to defend. And it doesn't matter. It's Huskies and Huskers. For young quarterbacks, you need a defense that allows you time to regroup on the sideline. I don't think that young man's going to spend enough time on the sideline.
I think Michigan State will finish higher than Washington. I know that's a bit of a reach. All right, next we have got Nebraska. Is this about right? Finishing number 6 in the Big Ten. Whoever wants to take it, go ahead.
Yeah, 6th place. I mean, yeah, it's fine.
Don't you blaspheme, Nick Sainer.
Sorry.
Hey, we have over 1% chance of winning, according to ESPN, the Big Ten. We have a 1.5% chance. This sounds about right to me. I think the top, obviously, Ohio State, probably Penn State, Michigan, Oregon, all going to be in the top. Then you got USC, Nebraska are going to be in that 5th, 6th place mix.
How many yards does Dillon have to throw for and Emmett have to run for Nebraska to move up?
I think we have to win the turnover battle in the 4th quarter. That's where my mind goes.
Well, but
not to avoid your question.
But I don't think that happens if Emmett isn't pushing 1,700 yards. Right? This is
all
right?
around, all purpose?
Yeah. No, I mean, here's the thing. Dillon has to be Dillon, the version we want.
Yeah.
But this team will not win late season Big Ten games if you can't run the dang ball.
That's true. I think I look at Dillon's touchdown to interception ratio last year as well. He had 13 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. It's got to be a much wider margin this year, and he can't be.
Well, to take fewer risks and to have better talent outside.
Yeah.
Well, that's a thing.
He had a 3-1, 9-3 touchdown interception ratio, and we were 5-1. Then things changed after that. But obviously, we got a new OC going into this year's got a full offseason ahead of him. USC's at number 5. I got no issue with it. We're going to speed on through. Michigan at number 4. Too high? With all their question marks?
Cheaters. Young quarterback. You talked about it, DP. Young quarterback. A lot of stuff in Bryce Underwood.
All right. Do they win in Lincoln this year?
Without a head coach?
Not true freshman quarterback, probably, and no head coach.
No.
Do they win in Lincoln?
No, let's go crazy.
Yeah.
Let's go crazy.
I agree with you. I think Nebraska wins.
Let's imagine Lincoln, Nebraska, after a win 3-0 with Michigan.
Dude, I'm with you there. Number 3 is Oregon. All right. It's going to be Ohio State, Penn State, Oregon, however you rank this. I got no qualms with this. Either one of you guys?
No.
All right. Number 2, I assume Penn State. Yep, Penn State number 2. I would actually put Penn State or Oregon 1 or 2, Ohio State 3, but tomato.
I still can't get over the Penn State's ability, and this shows, smart play by James Franklin. His ability to retain not only Nick Singleton, but also Katron Allen, 2 guys that could have been drafted in the NFL draft this year. To be able to retain them and not have them go anywhere else in this day and age of college football is impressive. Penn State's going to run the ball. I was never big on Drew Aller, but hey, here you go. Time to party with 2 of the best running backs in the Big Ten Conference. We saw what it did for Ohio State last year with Trevion and Quinshon Judkins.
I was about to say they remind me, not exactly, but they have similarities to Ohio State. 2 good running backs. Penn State has an experienced quarterback. All right. Going to play good defense. The question mark is out wide. The guys they brought in some additions. Are they going to make an impact, or are they going to have to throw to their freaking tight ends and running backs like they did all last year? What do you got here, DP?
I am a proponent that Ohio State's sexiness with the bank account is the difference in why they're number 1.
Okay. Ohio State is number 1. They got the best offensive player in America till someone else proves otherwise in Jeremiah Smith, and the best defensive player till someone proves otherwise in Caleb Downs, and a whole bunch of other talent around them. They're number one. You guys agree?
Yep. Quarterback situation is going to be really interesting, but I do agree.
All right, ladies and Julian Sane, are you a Julian Sane guy?
How can I answer that? We don't know Julian Sane yet.
No, you have to answer. We talk sports. You have to go out on a limb.
Julian Sane is your starting
forever.
quarterback.
I'm going to hold you to it
Make
forever.
you feel good. We just talked young quarterbacks.
Nick, it's been a blast. Thanks for joining us,
it has
DP.
been.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a glorious weekend. Go Big Red Nose. Remember, throw the ball.
Play ball! Pitch the perfect idea for a family outing or date night with tickets to the next Salt Dogs game. Nothing says summer fun like an action-packed evening at Haymarket Park. Come root for the home team with a hot dog and a cold